Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2016, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadia Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, in the context of love, we've got a whole lot happening, but I think that the most important moments in love are likely to take place for you as we move towards the later part of the month and the lunar eclipse that happens at that time. And the reason is that lunar eclipse is going to is going to stand across the sky from Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of your opposite sign. I do think that this eclipse, with all the emotion coming to the surface and at the same time feeling like you can't express it all, you can't say it all, you've got to hold back, all of this sets the stage for some very powerful experiences likely to take place within the bond that you have now, within the relationship you have now, or in relation to where it is that you desire to go. With this lunar eclipse, there's a very strong intellectual element to it. So there's a very strong connection to mind, connection to understanding that conversations can peak and provide the catalyst towards the most meaningful change. And especially when those conversations are one-on-one, especially when those conversations are about romance, are about partnership, whether the person you're with or being open to someone new, it is ultimately in that space that someone says something at a certain moment that gets you seeing things very differently, that gets you to be honest about what you really want, which is key. And for some of you out there, that choice to actually go in the direction of what you really want might not be the easiest call, and yet it is yours to make. With this eclipse, if you are in an established bond, I think that this is, I just see having a tough conversation all around. Having to say, okay, do we work? Are we going to fit together? Are we going in the same direction together or not? Is this working for us or not? And getting honest with yourself about what you want now, what you want more of, what direction it is that you truly desire to go, and if this person is meant to travel along with you. Do they match that sense of hopes and wishes for your life? Where it is that they do, there might be an element of sacrifice involved, particularly for you now. There might be an element of sacrifice involved for a period of time. And that time might not be that long. It looks like you do have a reasonable expectation, a reasonable understanding of how long that time span is going to be. And that sacrifice could be in terms of time, it could be in terms of money, it could be in terms of where it is that you have to be, where it is that your partner needs you to be. But regardless, there is going to be this element there, and it's up to you to decide if you are going to take on that sacrifice joyfully or not. Now, for example, love, any kind of love, does involve an element of sacrifice. Now, this is actually something that Joseph Campbell spoke about, and he talked about how some sacrifices, many sacrifices, we take on joyfully, we take on willingly, because we know we are going to gain so much through that sacrifice. So, being with someone you love, let's say getting married, right? Getting married means that you're sacrificing your singlehood, and however you understand that, whatever that might symbolize for you. And many people do that very, very willingly, like they're ready. Like, no problem, I'll do that. I have met a lot of people who've been like, I just want to get married. I'm just ready to be married. With somebody, like they have somebody there. That's the people I've known, how it's normally worked out for them. And so sometimes those sacrifices are joyful, right? Also, like if you have a child and you've wanted a child, particularly if you've wanted that child, if you've wanted them for a long time, that sacrifice is very, very, is one that you take on joyfully. And yet it changes you, right? You're sacrificing who you knew yourself to be to take on this new role of parent. And so love might ask for a sacrifice now. Committed relationships might ask for a sacrifice now. And it's up to you to decide if it works for you or not. For some of you, it's fine, no problem. I love you, I'm there for you. we're going to go here, we're going to do this. For others, it's going to be more of a soul search, if that's something you really want to do. Those of you who are open to meeting someone new, well, actually, first let's go to those of you who are just getting to know somebody. If you're just getting to know someone, I think that this particular full moon likely indicates that you're going to get some information, possibly getting that information through another source, maybe not necessarily directly. You might actually get that directly from that person, or it might be through another person. But ultimately, this is about accepting the truth about who this person is, like really being honest with yourself. Does this person fit with where you want to go and who this person is really? And sometimes, it's pretty simple, right? Sometimes we go for the person who is unattainable, that we know we're not meant to have, because that way we don't have to invest ourselves emotionally. Well, this is you getting really honest about that. If you've been pining for somebody, if you've wanted to be with somebody, but it hasn't been working, and yet you continue feeding that energy, why is that, right? What is it, that distance, knowing that that distance will not close? What does that say about your expectations of love and what it is that you really are ready for, what it is that you really want? Because when you want a love, if I may say this, if you want a love that is equal and meaningful and tender and respectful, then you are going to gravitate towards different types of people. And people who are not available for whatever reason are not going to be of interest to you. You're just not, it's not going to be something that you even resonate with, because you are in a different energy. You're in a different space. Those of you who are open to meeting someone new, this very lesson could visit you now, where you get a chance to see something about what it is that you are resonating with and why. What does that say about you? And again, friends might be a part of this. So if you're just getting to know someone, a friend might come and give you information about that person that changes your perspective about them, or that gets you seeing that connection differently. If you are open to meeting someone new, it might be a friend who's part of that. Either you'll find yourself drawn to a friend, or a friend might be the introducer to someone that ultimately is about you learning this lesson and having that deepening understanding that there is ultimately, it is about you. It's really what it comes down to. Love is always about you. And the person that you attract into your life in some way is providing you with a mirror. Sometimes that mirror is not what you think it's going to be, right? I remember way back in the day, I remember a friend saying that, if you're a woman and you walk, or you whatever, you're just out in the world, you're just experiencing life, then it means that there are going to be times when you're going to attract people into your life who maybe are not necessarily well, right? I think this is a human experience, and I say that gently. I say that in jest, but what I mean is, sometimes you're going to attract people. If you're out there, if you're wanting love and you're putting yourself out there, there are going to be times when maybe someone shows up in front of you and this is not someone you want to be in a relationship with. And you might say to yourself, what did I do to attract this? Well, the truth is you didn't do anything, right? This happens when you put yourself out there, you're open to love. This happens sometimes, right? You meet people who you're not going to vibe with, that you're not going to jive with. But it is when you want to be with a certain type of person and you feel yourself resonating with them and you're attracting this person into your life and you're feeling that resonance, that person is speaking very powerfully to you, is speaking very powerfully to where it is that you are in love, and they're reflecting something to you about where it is that you are in love. And ultimately, as part of the mystery, as part of the tapestry, it all works together anyways. That person who enters your life for 5 minutes ultimately helps you and can help you in your own way to move towards greater love and greater wisdom and romantic love as well, if you are willing to see that. What I love about this month for you is that element of truth, truth with self, truth with another. It is that element of realness. It is that element of understanding that love is what you want, and where it is that you know it ain't gonna happen, you're okay with that. You find peace with that. And where it is that you know you have it, you are willing to give your all. Because sometimes love asks for that. And it is in that that you find yourself differently, but a self that you truly like very much.